Life's tough
when you're in PC.
Life's rough
When you depend on me.
to give you weapons, items, armor, information for your journey and still you still machine and trying to hurt me. Life's tough
When you're in PC.
Life's rough.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Critter Miss Quickie. Long videos are fun and all, but sometimes you just need the 30 seconds of fury and then head on to bed. If you're into the 30-second sort of deal, then boy is this video for you. Okay, in seriousness, this is going to be longer than 30 seconds. Hell, it probably already is. The point is that today's topic, Synapse, is a game that doesn't have a lot to truly discuss. It is quite a long book, but the majority of it can be summed up in a few short discussion points. Enough so that this video will be one of the shortest, and maybe even the shortest video I have ever done. So, with that being said, what exactly is Synapse? Well, to describe it in one word, it would be this. Gimmick. It is a game created entirely on a gimmick. A modular game created on a single gimmick. Ultimately, Synapse is an attempt by the game's creator, Greg Christopher, at creating the true modular game vis-a-vis GURPS and so forth. It is a game meant to be played in several different time periods and several different ways of life, with the overall gimmick being that you are not playing a character, but you are creating a brain for the character to operate. It's an interesting concept to be sure. I mean, it certainly is unique. Instead of taking a character, you're taking the concept of consciousness and making a game based around that. It's one of those things that can either intrigue you or turn you off immediately. Just depends on what you're into. The game is an extended character creation and plot scenario guide that walks you through various concepts of thought. It includes sections such as morality, cognition, cultural aspects, and so forth. And of course, with something like this, you have the subject of racial characteristics and gender characteristics. And all things considered, this is handled about as well as a bull running through a china shop made of glass and Fabergé eggs. While the concept alone is not a terrible one, if not a little avant-garde and niche in its endeavors, it is clear from the start that it is handled by a person who is way out of their depth in terms of handling topics outside of the realm of dwarfs, goblins, spaceships, and so forth. When you're creating a game like this, especially a game that's created around consciousness, you really need to tread carefully and have a safecracker's touch when handling topics such as race and gender. And whenever you're dealing especially with things such as consciousness and thought, you start to dive into some territory that can get into some very nasty racial issues that are borderline eugenics in their endeavors. I'm not saying that Mr. Christopher crossed this line, I'm saying that he got a little too close to the line for comfort's sake. And then not only that, to pile it on as well, whenever it comes to the strange uniqueness that can instantly turn a couple of people off, you also have the character creation, which is just a pain in the ass. Look at this sheet. This page is 3 pages long with stats upon stats upon stats. Even D&D 3.5 had tons of stats, but it was a game that definitely earned it. It had a prestige behind it, so you could kind of put up with a lot of stats on your page. For games like this, it really turns people up very quickly if they cannot create a character quick enough. And for this game, there's nothing that's going to turn people off more than seeing this gigantic monstrosity. I do get that the human mind is a complex entity, and properly turning it into an RPG character is going to be a daunting task. But with character creation way more complicated than it needs to be, with assigned stats towards every aspect of the human brain imaginable, I mean, why not skip the mind games? Stop chasing waterfalls and go back to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Why put up with Synapse whenever you have D&D, Firefly, Shadowrun, and so forth just waiting for you to play? At the end of the day, Synapse gets points for creativity and coming up with a unique concept. However, the game misses the mark in execution. Character creation is painfully complicated, to the point that you'll just skip it and go play games that you know very well. And ultimately, it really does not tread lightly on very sensitive issues, and as such, it is getting a miss. and it is getting the quickest miss that I've probably ever given out. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more. Come back next week for whenever we open back up the world of darkness for you all to enjoy. Till next time.